What have I left out? Anything? Yes, please.
There's one that I would add to it, and
Okay.
that is giving up any idea that you're in control of.
Okay.
anything.
All right.
That's part of going with the flow, but, all of us think that if we do this, and this,
Mhm.
that somehow we control the environment, we control what happens to us, and we don't.
Yeah.
So we just need to know,
Sure.
and that's very hard for some people to do,
Mm-hmm.
to say, I can't control it.
I can't control it. You're absolutely right. People who are very controlling, and I must admit, I struggle with that myself, but people who are controlling really struggle when the realization comes home that they're not really in control. What we can control, however, is our reaction to things that happen. Yeah. And hopefully, some of these things from today, would help someone as far as just dealing with things that you can't control. Life happens. It just does. Yeah. Good comment. Thank you. Yes, sir, please.
Sometimes I just get tired trying to be resilient,
Okay.
trying to complete all these goals I have, trying to do all these things that I intellectually, emotionally want to do.
Sure.
I'm just tired.
Sure.
How do you deal?
Sure. Yeah.
And it's really not depression,
Mm-hmm.
in a clinical sense.
Sure. Do you, and so what happens when you get tired? Is it possible to give yourself permission to just be darn tired for a day or two?
Yeah, but then I feel guilty.
Yeah, and then so you go back to it, don't you? Don't you probably go back. Because I think I know the pattern. Because there's some of us, and I'll bet you're this way, who say, I can do this. I can do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then sometimes it just becomes too much. And the best thing to do is to give ourselves permission to be tired for a little while, knowing that a few days go by and you're going to go right back to whatever those goals are. Does that make sense? Is that the way it works for you or not?
Yeah, or the realization that you won't go back to those goals.
Okay.
The
So-
goals are goals that maybe you should leave in the past.
Okay. Are they goals that are physically beyond what you can do at this point? Yeah. Yeah. And there again, it's accepting the reality, but still looking around and saying, okay, yeah, I can't do that, but what can I do? What can I do that'll still give me pleasure? Where I'll still be learning or whatever. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So changing our goals, being flexible again, and if this doesn't work, as I used the example earlier, if what has always given you pleasure is to get a basketball and go out and start shooting hoops, it would be silly to hold on to that kind of a goal, probably. But what else can you do? Can you coach? And I have no idea if you're even interested in basketball. I'm just giving you some examples. What would happen if you went out and started coaching kids and coaching the shots or whatever, something to find it. And that's a big part of the challenge. You've got to find, okay, I can't do this anymore. What can I do?
But it just seems like each goal that you have to give up, each activity that you have to give up, that leaves an empty spot, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Does it leave an empty spot, everything that you have to give up? Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, we'll come back because I want to answer more. Yes, sir, did you have a comment too? Yeah, okay, please, go for it.
My mother was from Wales. What she taught me as a boy was lay down and breathe a while and rise and fight
Okay, say that again.
again. Lay down and breathe a while, rise and fight again.
I've got to write that down. Did everybody hear it? It's an old Welsh saying, lay down and bleed a while, and then
Rise and fight again.
rise and fight again. I like that. That's beautiful. Yeah, because again, what it's doing is it's saying, give yourself permission. It's okay. It's okay. life knocks us to our knees, and sometimes we just have to crouch down for a little while until we can pull ourselves back up again. But there's a lot out there, and I don't know what your interests are, but
Too many.
too many. Well, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because among all those many interests, surely you can find, if you can physically do it, can you mentally do it? Can you do it on the internet? Can you reach out to other people and help them in doing it? I don't know. Whatever, how can you do it? That's a challenge, but it's one that we can do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, good luck with it, sir. Good luck. There was another. Yes, please.
I'm not living my whole life this way, but a technique I've learned when I'm saying, oh, I can't do that anymore. Oh, gosh, I used to enjoy that. I can't do that anymore. What I do is I stop myself, not all the time, but in my good day, I stop myself and say, okay, what did I enjoy about that? And where did I get to go? And what did I get to do? And I just let myself relax and switch the way I was thinking.
Okay, beautiful. So what you're doing is I mentioned cognitive psychology earlier. And what it teaches is that it's our thoughts. If we're thinking negative thoughts, and that our thoughts can mess us up. And what you're realizing is, these thoughts I'm having are messing me up, and you are switching them. And that's beautiful. You're a good cognitive psychologist. There you go. Yay, all right. All right. But it's true. And what you're doing is something in cognitive psychology, they talk about a technique called thought stopping. Okay? And what you're doing is you're realizing, oh, wait a minute. This isn't doing me any good thinking like this. And you turn it to make it positive to think. And I don't mean to get, namby-pamby, what's it called, when everything's, wonderful.
I said not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time, and good, because you don't want to think, all the time. Every now and then, you have reason to not be happy with the way life has turned out, but you can get yourself really bogged down with that. But it's amazing what we can do. First of all, just being aware of how we're thinking, and then thought stopping, and how can I turn this around? Okay. When I'm teaching cognitive psychology, I like to give a personal example. I lived in Bountiful for many years, a beautiful little town north of here, raised my children there. But I always had to commute into Salt Lake. And, after my kids started driving and all that, it really started wearing on me, this drive from Bountiful. I lived on the bench, down across Bountiful, up I-15, on across Salt Lake City to U. And it got to where it was bothering me. I'd be driving into the U, and I'd be thinking, I could be, this is ridiculous, all this time, what a waste of time this is. And I'd get to the U, and I'd be in a snit. I'd just be in a bad mood. And then the same thing in reverse. I'd be driving home, I'd be thinking, if I lived here, I could be home all right. This is ridiculous. And suddenly, and it wasn't a good time to sell our house in Bountiful and move into Salt Lake. We have since done that. But one day I realized, Kleinschmidt, you're in a snit a lot of the time. This is not a cool thing, And so I started thinking about it. I thought, golly, so what? I can't change it. Okay, I can't change what my reality is right now. And I thought, wait a minute. Here's what I did. I decided that would be my time, my personal time, without the kids, needing stuff and the phone ringing and all this stuff. So I'd climb into I drove a Vanagon at that time. I'd climb in the Vanagon, I'd throw in a CD, and I'd usually romantic music, Placido Domingo singing love songs or something. And I'd just drive in, I'd be thinking, oh, this is so great to have this time to myself. Isn't this great that I get, okay, exactly the same situation, but I'd chosen to think about it differently, and it made all the difference in the world. My mom was married to my father for 27 years, then to my stepfather for 17 years, and then she had a delightful gentleman friend for 10 years. All three of them died eventually, but she had 27, 17, and 10 years. And one day she was telling me, she said, oh, honey, I've just never been lucky in love. I said, Mom, you've had 58 years of good men. I'd say that's pretty good luck with men. Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. Okay, so sometimes just switching those thoughts, can make a huge difference. And your examples are beautiful, exactly what you need to be doing. Okay, that's a great, discussion. I do appreciate it. Let me just leave you with a couple of my very favorite quotes from Helen Keller, who says, "The human being is born with an incurable capacity for making the best of things." Okay, Helen Keller, a woman who went through life blind and deaf and accomplished wonderful things. Just was an incredible human being. And this is from Dr. LaMaestre again, and my thought for you as I leave you, I wish you a safe and thoughtful journey on what is truly, truly a road of hope. So, thank you so much. It's just been a pleasure to be with you today. You're a beautiful group of people. Thank you. I do have these handouts. The